Hello and welcome to this session where you will have a chance to meet the winners of the Youth versus COVID Hackathon. The hackathon took place in May 2020 during the times of COVID, during the times of pandemic. We've had over 150 students participate in this hackathon. Over 40 cities across the world participated and tuned in either as mentors or teenagers. And we've had at least 10 of them present the projects during the demo day. And today with us, we have the winning team all in, who have been working across multiple locations. So this is the team based in the UK, Germany, and Romania. And they were working over 2 weeks to develop a solution to one of the challenges that they have identified during the hackathon. And so team, I know you're already with me on this call. Thank you for joining me. So whenever you are ready, I would love to hear your story, how you met, what happened during the hackathon, and then we will have a chat about various other matters related to education and whatnot. But it's over to you right now.
Hey, hi everyone. We are Andreea, Hritika, and Suhaas.
We are here to change online education.
The hackathon. We recently took part in the Teens in AI Youth vs. COVID Hackathon. A hackathon is an event where people come together to solve real-world problems, and of course, one of the most prominent at the time is COVID-19 situation and all of its repercussions. The Teens in AI Hackathon was an online event for students all around the world, with the aim of developing AI solutions to the most pressing healthcare and societal challenges arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. Our team was awarded first place for our solution all in.
Initial idea. Initially, we wanted to detect the focus of students during class, but we quickly realized that there were a lot of privacy concerns since we would be analyzing the faces of children. People very clear did not like the idea on social media, and we faced a lot of backlash on Twitter. That's when we decided to pivot. The problem. We went back to the drawing board and sent out a survey to teachers, students, and parents. From the 150 responses, a clear theme emerged: internet connection issues during online classes. Many students like us are affected by unstable Wi-Fi, leading us to miss out on vital part of the lesson. This came up to be a major factor of focus, motivation, and learning. Social impact. Our solution is all-in. All-in allows for online lessons to flow without any disturbances and prevents students with lack of high-quality Wi-Fi from being disadvantaged.
Our solution, All-In, is a standalone app for teachers and students that runs alongside video streaming platforms. All-In starts with the speaker. That speech is translated and sent to the students' devices. How does it work? Sending a piece of text across the internet requires far less bandwidth than a live video and audio stream, and can be sent in circumstances where video streams cannot. In a scenario where there's a total internet cutout, it's not possible to cram 2 minutes of video in a few seconds. However, All-In means students can read their text that they have missed and easily catch up. In this way, students have constant access to their live lessons even when the internet is low. This is especially useful in low-income countries where the internet connection may not be as reliable.
Azure. After the hackathon, we have had the pleasure of talking to and working with Avanade to help us flesh out ideas about how to further All-In. They helped us to find a solution of making our local host a public one, so that our app is more accessible. To do this, we chose to utilize Azure Portal, and we immediately started learning about how to implement it. Website. Additionally, we had also created a website to market All-In, which we hope will earn the trust of customers worldwide, as well as inform the general public about All-In. We believe that all can become valuable, not only in education, but also in the business world, where multiple accents often make international communication more difficult. Ethical concerns. After the negative backlash, we also brainstormed and met with several ethicists and have decided to implement the following. 1. Security protocols that will only allow students to log in through certain registered devices. 2. Speech recognition done on edge. 3. Anonymizing students' names. 4. Only temporarily storing transcript in a database so that the data is kept secure. And 5. Training our AI model on diverse data.
Finally, this journey taught us to work directly, always back to the customer, and most importantly, consider the ethical and security concept. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, team. Your story probably, out of all the teams, I know it has been very challenging for you. But I wanted you to tell me yourself, what was the most challenging thing you have experienced during the hackathon, and how did you overcome it? Hritika, do you want to perhaps begin?
Yeah, of course. One of the most challenging things at the beginning was definitely working with people in different time zones who had different experiences and different ages as well. And we had different ideas of how we wanted to tackle the issue of education during the pandemic as well. All of these came together, but I think in the end it created a very diverse outlook and we had lots of options to bounce off ideas. And apart from that, I'd say the negative backlash on Twitter was definitely quite disheartening, as I hadn't experienced anything like that before, and I'm sure our teammates would agree it was quite a shock at the beginning. But after that, we thought through it with our mentors who were helping us out in the hackathon, and we decided to reevaluate. We sent out a survey, had teachers and other people explain their own thoughts on our product, and we came back from it. We improved and developed using their ideas and added our own. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Great. And
Sorry, Elena, can you please repeat the question?
Andreea, out of all the challenges we've had during this hackathon, your team decided to tackle education. Why was it important, Andreea?
Well, we think about that a lot, but we thought that education is the most important file on all the world. Just think about it. If you want to have doctors who save life or people who conduct our work, we just need to have education that they can have understand the points so that can become medics or politician or like very interesting ITs, I think. So it's really important to have education. So we thought that okay, we need to find out how we can help people with online education to continue to uh, learn, because it's so important to learn and understand all the aspects of this world, you know.
And Suhaas, what did you find challenging about this work? I know you've never been to any hackathons before. Was it something different to what you've experienced, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, for me, I was the youngest, and it was quite hard at the beginning because I wasn't. I was in another team, but my original team didn't work a lot, so I had to ask the admins to get me a new team. So I was sent to this team. I had no idea what they have done till now and what they were doing. I just only saw one video of their prototype how they were implementing it, and yeah, then I try to use my knowledge and share with them, and yeah, the result came out.
And what was everyone's role in this?
You slightly cut. Could you repeat that?
Yes, and what was everyone's role in this project?
So I was like on the tech side, and Andreea was managing all the stuff, and Hritika was like on the ethical and business side, where with the making the website and like those things.
Mm-hmm. And Hritika, I know you really researched the field of ethics, and I have seen the slide, ethical considerations. Why is ethics important?
Ethics, I'd say, is one of the most important parts of AI, because there is a point where you have to consider you're doing this for humans and how humans react. So if something like our own original idea for the product is making the people using it uncomfortable, there is a line that you must be crossing, and you need to consider that. If your clients or customers are not comfortable, there is probably something wrong with it, and you need to take a step back, as we've all learned. Ethics are really important to show that you just don't cross those lines. You don't accidentally infringe someone's privacy. You don't accidentally break a law for GDPR, for example. You don't make someone feel uncomfortable. I think it comes down to the root that you don't want people to feel uncomfortable with your product.
And how different is this hackathon from the typical stuff that happens in school?
I'd say it's very different. I've personally, before this a hackathon, I'd never done something like this. It really inspires confidence as well. In school, you might learn some basics of computer theory, maybe, but in these hackathons, you get to put programming to test. You get to build confidence, inspire creativity in a tech world as well, which I think is often missed out on in schools. It's quite confined sometimes. But in this hackathon, you get to be creative, you get to be confident, you get to build soft skills such as teamwork and public speaking. There are amazing opportunities like this as well, which I would never have experienced if I had just stayed at school and studied solely there and not expanded and branched out. So I think it's an amazing thing, honestly.
And Andreea, if there was one thing you could change in education system right now, and right now I mean times of pandemic as well, or in general in education, and I know you're from Romania, so maybe education system there is a bit different to other parts of the world, but in your experience, what would you change right now?
Right now, I really want to change the fact that we need to be more practical, more concerned about what this word really means, because we learn just some science things, not real things that really happen in life. Like, they do not help us to learn how to be confident ourselves, how to present our idea, how just work with each other, because they are so on the point to make individual work that they don't think that we will need to work together for really make a difference, you know. I really want to change the things that can help students really understand the purpose of this life, like to really understand that if they want, they really can change the world with little things, you know.
That's very inspiring to hear. So, but Andreea, this wasn't really your first hackathon. I remember when I was running a hackathon in Romania with 130 girls and Microsoft. How different was this online hackathon to this face-to-face one? Because it looks like we may have to remain in this virtual world for a while. Are there any, differences? What would you say was this experience compared to the one we had face to face.
Yeah. Well, I think the difference between them was the fact that when you are really face to face, it's more easy to make connection with people, like really, and in the same time, it's you are more connected to them, so you can work more interactively and really understand each other. Because if you just speaking on the phone, you really do not see the faces and the reaction. So it's kind of really hard to understand what people really think. But in fact, this second hackathon really helped me more to develop myself because it was a little longer. But in the same time, I was on that point when I can talk with my network on Twitter and was really so impressed about how this world really are there to help you if you just say, okay, can you please help me? And of course, they will just say you're wrong if you do that. So I'm really impressed about how people really are there for you, even if you never spoke to them.
Hmm. Absolutely. So let's talk about diversity, perhaps. You are quite a diverse team, Romania, Germany, and UK. And you've had mentors from even, various parts of the world to also help you to get to where you are right now. Why is diversity so important? I know we have spoken about it during the hackathon as well, but why is it important to you?
It's really very important because you just need to see all the points of view of everyone. Like everyone say in a different type of area and culture, and you probably if you just stay with you'll not see like the problem of all people, just the problem of some people that think like you. And you really need to see the problem from a large area so that you really solve a real problem that is in that file, not just probably a small idea that it's not so usually the real problem, because you really need to solve like for everyone, not just one or two person.
What about you, Suhaas?
Um, yeah, it was. If of course it's important because um, from the different parts of the world they have different knowledge, so we could use that, and yeah, I think um, I can't really say anything to that because Andrea already explained so much.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. And so I have some other questions. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how can we move on in this pandemic, and what kind of future do you see with technology? How will, in your opinion, technology disrupt the current world that we live in? Do you see any application to AI that you are really interested in and fascinated by in times that we live in right now, in times of pandemic? What have you been noticing recently? Hritika?
Well, recently in the UK, the NHS has an app which can see if someone close to you, someone in your contacts, has been diagnosed with COVID. It will then send you a Bluetooth alert and recommend that you go and get yourself tested as well. And when I first heard that, I thought that's really interesting. How are they going to make sure that it's not, say, the 200th contact on your phone? And I thought maybe developing in this line or in another situation where, for example, if, hopefully not, but if another pandemic like this arises sometime in the future, maybe this algorithm will be expanded on. Maybe they'll find out who is the closest to you, who you get into contact most. Maybe they'll manage to track how far away it is or where the pandemic will spread next, where the cases will rise. These sorts of things might seem like predictions at the moment, but with the amount of data you feed in, hopefully we won't have to, but in that case, I think technology can really help. Apart from that, maybe not AI, but technology itself, in just its basic form, keeping in contact with other people, staying positive, communicating across the world. I think technology can be useful for, yes, AI, which is really important, but also just simple things like staying in touch with family who are living somewhere else or trapped in quarantine. I think it's a really powerful tool, and yeah.
What about you, Andreea? What has been happening, in your part of the world? Have you seen any interesting applications in the world in general, or in Romania for AI or technology in general?
Honestly, I just do not see something really interesting that really can inspire me. But I know that technology will really make a difference in this world and really stay there for you. Like it's really helped a lot of people in the pandemic because so many apps are creating there for the mental health, for the part when you just need someone to talk for medicine, for science, for learning. I see a lot of that. It's really important, just the fact that even if you're just talking home, to have something to learn or be sure of your life and your health, because it's really important for you. And I think it's really important to see the fact that in future, even I hope that pandemic will not continue, to have something like that with us, you know.
Yeah, and so we don't know what will happen in the world. We may remain in this kind of pandemic state for a while. So, how can technology make societies more resilient in the face of pandemic or potentially other threats? Because at the moment, it's it's quite uncertain what will really happen in the world. So, Suhaas, do you have any answers to that?
Um, so maybe like if there is lockdown and people like let's just say like in India, the corona numbers are just getting more and more. Maybe you could like implement somewhere AI. You could implement AI and to check like um, how the where their movements are, how which person from which person they got infected and like those stuff. And also the thing what Hritika said, um, it was also tested in Germany, but I think there are a lot of ethical concerns, and that's why Germany didn't implement it further. So they just stopped that. Yeah, but something
And
like that.
Thank you, Shuhas. And Shuhas, what is your biggest concern over the next 10 years? And perhaps each one of you could tell me, what are you concerned about the most in the next 10 years? Shuhas?
Um, so we are seeing like that AI is maybe AI will be smarter than us. Many jobs will be lost, and like in the machinery directory where now the robots are implemented already, and other jobs where we won't need like human help. So I think that's the biggest fear for everyone.
Mm-hmm. And Hritika, what about you?
Um, I'm going slightly on the environmental side. I'd say climate change and the use of our natural resources are running out very quickly. And as seen in the pandemic, it's not just cars and taking the bus instead of walking, which is causing these carbon emissions. It's also just factories in general. And apart from that, just the natural resources like copper. Copper is running out. Copper is such an important thing, even in the use of technology. If I were to link it back to the technology sector, copper wires are used everywhere for electric cars. It's often used in hardware for computers as well. If that's running out, we need to find an alternative, or we need to find a way to use it more sustainably so that we are able to even further our technology. If there's no copper and nothing else to replace the material, it's a far cry from being able to develop more computing or more technology. We just won't have the computer or hardware to run it on. So I think that's a really big concern that we may have been overlooking recently.
Okay, very interesting. And Andreea, what about you? What are your biggest concerns?
Well, right now, I think my biggest concern is about a little of AI, because I think people really need to understand that on the tech side, we just do not need to think about just how we can build it. We really need to think how this app really can solve the problem, how we can be sure that it's ethical and legal, because even for many people do not matter this fact. I think this is the most important part of the tech, because if you do not aware of these things, you might be really making some bad things with AI. And I'm really concerned a little about this, but I hope that everything will turn out right.
Brilliant. And so I have this final question that I would like each one of you to answer, and that is, how are you going to deliver a better world, and how can we, the industry, to support you? And perhaps Suhaas, would you like to kick us off on this one?
Yeah, I haven't thought about something like that until now, but I think everybody should start learning any language that they can, and because the AI is going to take over the world at some time, and if you can implement can if you can learn it, you know how to implement it and how to use it. So that could be really useful in the future. Yeah, that's my side.
Okay, and how can we help you? How can the industry help you?